Hey everybody, welcome back to the Stereoscope Rewind. My name is Jeff.
And I'm Amy.
Hello, Amy. Welcome back from Connecticut.
Oh, thank you.
That's the last time we talked to you. I think you were somewhere deep in the woods. Did you get bit by a tick?
TBD.
Oh, TBT?
I don't know. I mean, does Lyme disease show up right away?
I have no idea. I am not a doctor. We'd have to ask the AI for that, and that's probably not a good idea either. So,
No, I did not get bit by a tick. And fortunately, no more carpenter ants.
No more carpenter ants came for you?
No, they didn't.
Hey, that's
I was
good.
worried.
That's good.
You know, it's so funny because every time I've stayed there, I find a bug in my room. And I brought it up. The first time I stayed there and did that, I brought it up to the front office staff, and they were like,
yeah.
They looked at me like I was nuts. They're like, we're in the woods in Connecticut. There are bugs here. I'm like, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah, this is how it works.
Yeah.
I know. You and I both live in city. We're in a city. We both live in cities. We're in concrete jungles. So whenever I go visit somewhere, I'm always like, where the heck? Like mosquitoes. Ugh. No, don't get me started.
Side note, sorry to take it there, but
No,
have you ever been to Florida in the summertime?
No-see-ums can, oh my God, they're the worst bugs in the entire world. Like, you can't even see them, and then you wake up and your legs are all bit. Like, what the heck?
There's a buzz. There's a hum that happens.
Of the whole state.
Yeah, and I was there with my friend. She lives there. I get out of the car, and it's like one of those lights, you know, those strong lights where it's like zzz.
Yeah. Like,
and I'm looking around, and I'm like, do you hear that? She's like, what? You know, they've completely drowned it out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do you not hear this buzzing?
yeah,
Do
her
you hear all
brain
those bugs out there?
Yeah, her brain's gone now. Like, her brain, that noise is like noise canceling in her head.
So, yeah. But no, Lyme disease free and back from Connecticut. It is a beautiful state. I love it out there. But I am back at home now.
Well, welcome back to the correct time zone, the one with good football. Starts at 10 a.m., not 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Those people, don't even get me started. That's a different podcast. What are we talking about this week? We are talking about The Last of Us, Season 2, Episode 4, Welcome to Seattle. Amy, tell me, how'd you feel about the episode?
I have mixed feelings about the episode. Of course, you know, we're another episode post Joel.
Post Joel.
I'm just hoping he'll pop out of somewhere, but that won't happen.
I mean, they could do something where, like, they go back in time. You might get to see him again. They could do that.
One can only hope.
Yeah, one can only.
I liked it. There were things I liked, things I didn't like so much. I didn't think that we needed that much character development in this episode. I thought that we got our bridge episode, as you call them, the episode before in episode 3. I do like some character development, obviously, and you did tell me that it was going more in that direction rather than...
Definitely more character than the game because the game's all action. You can't have... The games do have cutscenes that have story in them, but usually they're a little shorter. And sometimes they're not, and sometimes you're as a gamer, you're just kind of like, okay, when do I get to... I've had enough. So it's hard in your gamer brain to, like, switch gears because, you know, but yeah, like we had a lot of story in the video game, but nothing like this.
Yeah, I don't know if I needed, obviously it was really important for them, but I don't think I needed that much with Dina and Ellie in their story development, character development. But I did like certain scenes with like the scars and the wolves. And so overall, I enjoyed it.
Right. And the scene where she plays guitar, that is like, that scene went viral on the video game. Like, everyone loves the scene when she sings to Dina. So that's why that had to be in the show, or like there would have been riots.
That was sweet. Yeah. It was a sweet moment.
Yeah. Eventually in the game, you're able to play the guitar. They give you notes. And so there's videos online of people like playing different songs.
That's fun.
Yeah. Like they eventually give you like, there's a little circle with the notes. And people like play songs other than the ones they play in the game, which is kind of fun.
Like The Last of Us Guitar Hero.
Yeah. Yeah, it is kind of fun.
What do you think about it?
I liked it. I thought they did well with the game. Running around a subway car in the underground definitely happened. The TV station was definitely a thing from the game where they were all hanging. Like, that was all kind of ripped right from the game. So they were very true and honest to the game.
Okay, that subway scene was stressful.
Yeah, and I watched the after thing with the producers, and they built everything you saw that night was all built. They constructed everything. So
yeah, it's in an old warehouse, right?
Yep. From a production standpoint, that's amazing that they built all of that stuff for the amount of screen time that it was on. So it means they're really showing the game and the show some respect. Like they're giving the budget to have them build things like that because it was pretty neat. The subway scene was crazy.
So crazy. Oh, and my prediction came true.
Yeah. She gets bit.
She gets bit.
That's from the game. So she gets bit in the game.
See, this is what I mean. You're going to know things that I'm not going to know.
Last week you're like, I think there'll be a scene where we talk about her getting bit. I'm like, it's possible. It's definitely possible.
Who knows?
Who knows? Like, it's definitely possible. Yeah. And then the scene's a little different in how they present it.
Okay.
On the game.
What's it like in the game?
The game, when you go underground, they didn't in the TV show they didn't do this, but in the game, the underground, there's spores that come from the creatures, and if you breathe in the spores, that's like being bit.
Well, there was a preview.
Yeah.
Of that.
Yeah. So in the game, they're in the subway, and they both have you in your gear bag. You have a gas mask, like a filtration mask. And in the game, they kind of do that whole scene with the subway and all that chaos. And you go through the subway car, and they're reaching at you, and it's crazy. And then Ellie's mask gets smashed. And then Dina looks at her mask and goes, your mask is smashed. Your mask is smashed. And Dina starts to take her mask off. And Ellie's like, don't take your mask off. Don't take your mask off.
Oh.
And
so
then
just presented a little differently.
Yeah. So then she rips her mask off in the underground still. And she's like, I'm fine. I'm immune. I'm immune. And then they have to explain it. And then I don't totally remember what happens after, but I liked how they did it on the TV show. Like Dina 100% should be terrified of her because she doesn't know.
Sure.
She doesn't know. And
she just sits on that chair staring at her all night, like probably terrified.
Yeah, and I love when she woke up with a little bit of water and the flashlight comes right on. She's like, it's water, it's water, it's water, it's water, it's water.
Please don't shoot me.
Please don't shoot me. I really liked how they did that scene, and I enjoyed how it kind of like welled up with her being like, I'm pregnant and I'm immune, and then they embrace. And the relationship goes to the next level. I liked how they did it. Like you said, a little long. Would have liked a little more journey. I would have liked to move it a little bit farther into Seattle. But
yes,
for what we got, it honored the game very well for me, and I was okay. I wanted a little more moving forward, but I mean we do have there is a season 3, so there'll be more time for that.
They'll have to stretch it out a little bit.
Yeah, you can't just give it all to us right away.
What did you feel about the torture scene with the wolves and the scars? The scar. I don't know. Scar.
Of course, I'm not a huge fan of those types of scenes. Like I get a little like, oh my god, I'm watching my fingers. And I totally take this from the producers from the After thing, which I always love watching. It really showed how I want to call him Bernard because he's Bernard from Westworld, but
one of the best shows ever.
Yeah, I forget. I should have written down his character's name, but the guy who. First off, I forgot to mention. Shout out to Josh from Drake and Josh getting blown up in a truck.
Oh yeah.
Did you notice that?
Yes, I did.
I was like, oh my god! Oh my god! I'm like,
that was a great scene.
It was. I love that scene, and I love how he got out, and then he's like, hold on one second. He brings the kid out with him. Mm-hmm. Like, he had no idea. Like, yeah, I should have mentioned that earlier. That was a great scene.
It was a great scene. And then later on, when Dina and Ellie are passing through that same spot, I thought that maybe one of the dead soldiers on the ground, because they focused on it for a minute, that was going to be him, and then you see him later on.
Yeah. So, no, it was awesome, and I just thought that was a great little cameo shout out. Not even a cameo, just it was good to see him in that scene because it was like such a whoa, hey, all right, cool.
We're getting the heavy hitters.
Yeah, welcome, Josh. I'm Drake and Josh. It's a little different from his other show, so a little different.
A little bit.
A little different. And I, but anyways, how he starts off, you could tell he starts off very like he wants to do what's right. Mm-hmm. And then now it's kind of like who are the wolves now the new whatever the old
Fedra.
are the wolves in the new Fedra. Like, have we come full circle?
Yes.
Like there's always have to be a Fedra and a wolves and you know, and then the thing about it, that scene that I did like is how both of them were fighting so hard for their cause.
Yes.
And neither one were gonna compromise at all.
Absolutely. I liked it too when the Scar said, you know, you'll lose. And he said, why do we have guns, whatever. And he says, every day, or I don't know the exact quote, but he did say, every day someone leaves the wolves and they become a Scar, but Scars never leave and become a wolf.
Right, exactly. No, I totally agree with you. So he's like, you're gonna lose. And he goes to the torture room again, and the guy's like ready.
Just sticks his hand
he's
out.
Like, I'm ready.
Like,
and then he realized that he said it's over. And then what I didn't realize until I watched the producer after thing was the kid at the end was the kid from the beginning. You know, when they come out the door and they go to the kid on the left, and he's just like, good, he got what he deserved. That was the kid. That was the kid from the truck. I didn't know.
Yes. Yeah.
So
he's not wearing a helmet, so it's
not wearing a helmet. But I was like, oh, okay, yeah. So it's just how people.
Yes.
That transition.
About, you know, he was scared and part of Fedra, and then now he's just a completely hard.
Now he's just, he's hard and
jaded and
just moving forward. So.
I did like those scenes.
Yeah. Let's see. Did you have any favorite quotes?
Quotes. I mean, the thing about the wolves and the Scars, I really enjoyed that.
Yep. Sorry, you just said that.
Yeah, but quotes-wise, no, not really. I just really love that one. I think that settled. Yeah. I was like, ooh, that's a good one.
The whole scene was great. My only comedy moment was when Dina was like, what the fuck is wrong with Seattle? I thought that was funny.
That's a good one.
Seattle's a weird place. I worked there for a while. I like Seattle. I love you, Seattleites. You're the best, but you are a weird city. You're definitely doing your own thing up there. So I thought that was funny. It was a little ode to the city.
Yes, that was fun.
Let's see. Anything else? No, I think we kind of got it.
Yeah, I am looking forward to, because of the trailer for, it would be this week, Sunday, where it's showing some of that stuff you were talking about with the spores in the air.
Yeah.
And it's showing it, and someone's, you know, attached to something and they're stuck.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're underwater with the spores coming out of their mouths. And I just thought, oh my gosh, I can't wait to see what...
people get stuck in that stuff. They they get stuck.
I can't wait to see, though, what their... what's the FX? Is that...
What do you mean? Special effects? Or
yeah.
Special effects.
Oh, FX. I love how I throw out of...
Well, sure. Sure. Why not? It's all the same thing. Special
I can't wait to see what the special effects and the costume department and makeup department and all them, what they do with that. Like, I'm really excited to see that. I
have been actually pretty impressed with the amount of practical stuff they've been doing on the show, which is awesome. Like, they really are. They've got their crew is amazing, because like you could do a lot of this with green screen and they're not. You can tell. Like,
yeah, they're building the sets.
They're building the sets, and they're shooting it in a way where they don't. I mean, there is a lot of times what happens is they'll go low and then there'll be like a green screen in the distance to kind of create like Seattle or something in the background. Like, I get that, but you can actually do it up front, and they're not. Like, they keep showing behind the scenes stuff, and it's like it's all practical except for like that one little hole in the back that's like where they put a mountain or something. Yeah. And I'm just loving that. I mean, you would know because you've been on so many movie sets, but I'm like, you know, a person that just hasn't been on a movie set, so I don't know. But that part in particular where the spores are coming out, I'm excited to see. I'm just excited to see it. Yep. No, I agree. And shout out to and then another thing kind of from the game, which is I appreciated, is that there were so many times in Seattle where you would get up high, and then they would kind of show you in the distance where you were going, and I did the same thing they did. You were just kind of like, oh gosh, because like they were like, see that white smoke over there?
It's so far.
That's where we're going, and you just like even when you're playing the game, you're like, oh
no, it's so far.
That's so far away.
Well, there's so many things between.
And it's not like the old days where you can't just walk down the street. Like, who knows? First, the street might not exist, and two, who knows what's in the street. And then even the wolves were like, there weren't supposed to be any clickers here. And then that whole group came out of the.
Oh, yeah.
Like they thought that nothing was there. And that was not, it was more than just 2 or 3. Like, I love when Dina was counting and then she like ran out of hands. She ran out of fingers. And then they just came rushing around the corner. And I was like, oh boy.
She looked so scared in that moment.
Yeah. She's
a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
Predictions.
Predictions for next week? I'll let you handle that.
Yeah, you can't give predictions.
No, I mean,
Jeff.
I could, but I'm just waiting. I'm just trying to figure out when everything's going to happen.
Gosh, I don't know. I mean, I'd love to predict. I mean, obviously they're going to go on their journey a little bit farther, but I don't know if I have any like real predictions right now. I don't really know where it's going to go. I mean, obviously there will be conflict, but
Totally.
I don't really know.
All right.
And that's exciting.
That's a good sign. I like that. That makes me happy because then you you don't know. That's good.
Yeah, I don't know. Anything's possible.
Anything's possible next week.
Dun, dun, dun.
Dun, dun, dun. I love that. Well, Amy, thanks for chatting with me again. Always good to see your face.
Good to see you, Jeff.
Yeah. And thank you, everyone out there, for watching our podcast. Don't forget, it helps us out. Give us a review. Like and subscribe. I never thought I'd say those words, but we are, and I love it. I love saying that. Like and subscribe to everybody. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, and yeah, we'll see you guys on the next episode coming up. All right. Thanks, everybody. And Amy, take us away.
Toodaloo.